Hi everybody and welcome to the channel. As you know, I've done a few driving around videos and I've done a few technical videos now, but I did say I would do some camping orientated videos, and this is going to be my first one. So I'm going to talk about awnings. I've got a couple of little hints I can give you and a few tips. But this is about the side awning on my car here. So I'm going to remove you from the bonnet here, and then we'll go and have a look. So on the side of my car there, that's a King's awning. Now that might look a bit long, but that's a 2.5 metre by 2.5 metre awning. Now, why did I buy an awning that large when I could have bought a 2 metre by 2.5 metre? Well, the reason is because I wanted an awning tent. And an awning tent, for those of you who don't know what an awning tent is, an awning tent hangs underneath the awning. I'll pull this awning out and I'll put it up for you in a second, but I just wanted to go through a couple of tips. So the first tip is, when you zip up the awning, always zip these zips to the rear of the awning together like that, because they jangle when you're driving along. And if you have them over here by your window and you have your window open, all you'll hear is jangling. So that's your first tip. Always put them to the back. Right, so when you get an awning, let's talk about the brackets before we get it out. I'll unzip it first. Okay, so here's your brackets. Now I've used U-bolts that I got from Bunnings to hold them on. Now you've got to keep an eye on those, make sure they stay tight, because they can slacken off. But I've also got the plates on further back as well, so it's a pretty solid affair. Right, another tip: get some silicone oil, grease, some silicone oil or some spray, or even some candle wax will do it. And just make sure your zip stays lubricated, because it will get stiff and you won't be able to operate it. So that's another tip. Now if you're going to put your awning away wet, now this is slightly wet in here, but I think that's condensation. Make sure you bring it out and dry it out, because mine's wet there and I'm going to have to dry it out. It's probably been, with all the rain, it's probably leaked a bit. Anyway, I'm going to put you on the bonnet and I'm going to show you how to get the awning out. Hopefully you can see everything there. I think you pretty much can. I'll angle you up a little bit. Okay. By the way, if you can't hear me and on the video it's a bit quiet, I'll narrate I'll do some narration and we'll add that to it. Now there's 3 Velcro straps, so I'll start with the outside 2. If you undo the outside 2, yeah, don't let them dangle down, because if you let them dangle down, they'll get stuck in your door like this. And if it rains overnight, rain will run down there, get through your door and soak inside of your car. So always fold them back on themselves so they don't fit under your car door. Right, so the only thing holding the awning up at the moment now is the centre strap. So the next thing to do is to hold the awning in place, undo the centre strap, then pop it on the top like that. Okay. Yep. Because what you need to do next is you need to get these bars out. Now you'll see mine's got a bit bent there, and I'll show you a way to prevent that. So you can leave these long, it doesn't matter. Yeah, leave them long. Just make sure the past being just straight out, because you need to get this between them. Okay, so now you unravel this, and this is where my next tip lies. I replaced the Velcro straps with these clips. These clips seem to hold, are easier to do, but they do sometimes get stuck when you're unraveling it. Okay. Now, I'm going to relocate you here. Alright, so once you get it unraveled and you get to this point here, drop these feet down, these legs, and extend them slightly so they're a bit higher. Okay, and then you grab this pole and you stick it in that hole there and tighten it up, and then you do the same at this side. That's your awning sortable. Right, I'm not going to clip the side straps, I'm just going to collapse it back down again in a minute. However, here's a tip. Drill a hole through the bottom of your pole and stick some cord through. That makes it ideal for fastening your awning down in windier days. Okay? Right, so obviously we would clip these on. I have a couple of crossbars that go across and hold the awning up. If it's going to rain, when you go to sleep at night, if you're sleeping at that end, drop this down like this. That will let any water gathering on the top in the rain. It'll run off the top there and down the side and away from where you're sleeping. If you're sleeping at this side, drop that side. Okay. So, putting the awning away. Release those poles. And don't do what I always do, which is forget to unclip the poles on the side. Don't forget to do that, because that becomes a bit of a nightmare if you do that. You've got to put it all back together and start again. Alright, so you get your legs folded into here, and then you start ravelling up this. Try and get it fairly taut. Let the weight of the awning do the work, and it'll wrap up like this. Okay? Now I'll relocate you in a second, just bear with me. Okay, so all I've done is what I did at the start. I've rolled it up and put it on the top. Next I want to bring these in. Now I never bother collapsing these, there's not really much point. And they're in. Then you bring the awning back down and you fold it up until it fits onto there well. And then you put your centre strap on. Make sure it's high enough up. Once you've got your centre strap on, you can get your side straps on. Okay. Then you bring the cover across and zip it up. Remember, zips at the back, so if they jangle, they don't disturb you. And that's pretty much the awning. Now, let me take you for a walk around, because not only do I have a 2.5 metre awning on the side, I have one on the back too. So when you've got the back door open, if you're doing any work at the back and it's pouring it down, you've got this one awning. It comes out about 2 metres. And you're covered for anything at the back then. Now on this side I have this on. This is a shower awning. That unfolds and it drops down and it's a shower cubicle. I have a stick-on shower head holder that goes on the window here, and then I have a shower unit which I don't have with me, and it sticks in here, and you can use the shower tent as a toilet cubicle or a shower cubicle. So I hope that helps you. That's a pretty short video on awnings, but I think we've covered everything in there. Now As I've said in the past, I'm not a name person. I have a King's awning. If you hear a beeping, just ignore it. It's just my battery is a bit low and it's charging up at the moment. But so I have a King's awning. I could go out and spend $700-800 on an ARB awning or some other fancy name, you know, drifter or. But I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these people that do this. King's is Chinese, I understand that, but they're cheap, and they're cheap because they cut out the middleman. They manufacture them themselves in overseas, and then they bring them back into Australia and sell them. It is an Australian owned company, but they just make everything overseas, so mainly in China. But having said that, I've had that awning on there for 3 years and I haven't had an issue with it really. I did have a Anaconda awning on there before that, a June four-wheel drive awning, and that tore in the first wind I had it in, so I had to manually stitch that up again, and it's been okay. It's only a 2-meter awning, but this 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter is pretty good, because like I say, you can hang the awning tent underneath it, and that is pretty reasonable for camping. So if you have any questions, if there's anything else you need, any information you want, just leave it in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you out there.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And don't forget to subscribe.